Live from Hooters in Plano, Texas. Fantasy Football, Unfiltered, with Sean Salisbury. Hello, everybody. My name is Dave Michaels, and I am with the one and the only, the unfiltered one tonight, Sean Salisbury.
Oh, Dave, good to be with you.
And for those of you that have fantasy football leagues anywhere, we are glad you're with us. We have pad and paper if you wish to ask a question and you're shy. You don't want to get on the microphone. We do have that. We also have a microphone. And sometime later tonight, we are also going to give away an autographed football. I'm not too sure about this one, Sean, because I know you played for them. I got that.
Yeah.
I understand it. It's a Minnesota Viking football.
In Dallas Cowboy country.
In Dallas Cowboy country. How's that work for you guys? I got a shake of a head over here.
Well, after the last weekend's result, I'm not sure you want to be a member of either team watching the Vikings and Cowboys play.
Thank God it's not a Miami Dolphins football. Speaking of that, I'm going to get into this real quick. By the way, for those of you that didn't watch the game last night, Tom Brady is still throwing the football somewhere.
Yeah.
Good gracious almighty. We'll talk about that.
Best, I'm going to tell you real quick.
Yeah.
If you get to your third quarterback of all time and Tom Brady has not come across your tongue, then you don't know anything about quarterbacking.
That's
to
true.
me, I don't see how you get past number 2 without saying that with what he's done, and he's done more with less. Everybody says, what about Randy Moss? He had Moss. He took Moss. I think Moss had 39 touchdown catches while he was with Brady or something. I just think that Tom Brady's poise makes him not only a great fantasy choice every week, but I think he's between him and Elway, Montana, you're looking at the 3 best of all time, and Brady's name could easily be mentioned as number 1, and he's still got 6 or 7 years.
He tied a NFL record for the longest pass play from the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
One of the people he tied is a hero in this neck of the woods. Do you know who that would have been?
Tony Dorsett on Monday Night Football against the Minnesota Vikings.
That's a rushing play. I'm talking,
you're talking about a passing
play.
A pass play, hero in here?
Yes, sir.
Well, so obviously it was a Cowboy, right?
Obviously it was.
I go with receivers. Was it Drew Pearson?
Nope.
Was it Bob Hayes?
It was Bob Hayes.
Bullet Bob, at one point the fastest man in the world.
That's right. And Bob Hayes received it from the arm off of number 17, Danny DeRue Meredith.
Yeah,
Andy Don.
And one of the all-time turn out the lights, the parties. I still think that's the best Monday Night Football crew of all time.
I believe it is.
Cosell, Gifford, and Meredith, we haven't had anything like it. God rest his soul. I love him.
I miss Cosell.
I do too.
Told it like it is. Very similar to that of one Sean Salisbury, a true professional in every sense of the word.
Right there.
Right there. So in any case, fantasy football, this is a phenomenon that's only been around, what, the last 20 years maybe? Maybe a little less than that?
And through the roof the last 10.
It is
12. It's frightening how big it is.
And even more so now that there's the NFL Network and DirecTV, and I know they're not paying the bill, but we're going to mention it anyway because they do a phenomenal job of getting the word out and finding out all this information about everybody and anything. But let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let's talk real quick about the good. We're talking about Tom Brady last night and his outstanding performance. 517 yards for the night, 3rd best in the NFL. He threw a 99.5-yard touchdown pass, which was an incredible catch and run.
Right.
And then on top of that, he has probably one of the greatest arsenals, if you will, on the receiving side. I mean, he throws it to almost anything and anybody wearing a white jersey.
Yeah, and you know what I hear people talk about, and first of all, why Brady's so special is he knows where to throw the football, and when it comes out of his hand, it goes to the right guy.
Right.
You got 2 guys covered over here. He finds the guy who's singled. And as a quarterback in the league, the number 1 thing you can hope for or pray for or look for is the single covered guy. And Brady doesn't, I hear people say, well, he's a system quarterback. Yeah, he's a system quarterback, all right, any system he wants because he created this system by being so efficient in it. So when you watch him play, and obviously people who choose their quarterbacks in fantasy football say, well, take Brady every week. Now when if they were playing the Ravens maybe one week, you'd back off. But it's a really tough situation not to say if you drafted Brady or an Aaron Rodgers, you're going to play him every week. And what Brady does, and Dave, you made a great point, is he'll take average players. You've never heard of Edelman before.
No.
This guy Danny Woodhead. You don't know these guys.
Welker.
Wes Welker, a handful of years ago, was just another guy.
Right.
Well, he gets with Brady. What he does is he spreads the ball where 8, 10, 11 guys are catching it. So there's no such thing as a decoy with Tom Brady. So if you're choosing fantasy football, don't just think Brady when you're thinking the Patriots. You can take 7 or 8 of their offensive weapons because you never know when Hernandez is going to be the leading tight end, or Gronkowski one week, and then all of a sudden it's Edelman and then Woodhead catching one out of the backfield or running one in from the goal line or catching a screen from the 30. So what Brady does is open up fantasy points for a lot of people because he distributes the ball so well. It's not like you're playing on a team where it's, you know, you look at the Houston Texans, boy, it's Matt Schaub, you know where Andre Johnson's his guy.
Right.
You know where he's going to throw the football, and if he hands it off, Arian Foster. It's like Aikman, Irvin, Emmitt Smith, not the same type of guys, but they got 3 really good players at their position. Well, in New England, they have a whole bunch of really good players. They don't have one where you'd say that's the best player in the world, that's the best, other than the quarterback himself. Right. So when you're choosing your fantasy each week, you say, well, I don't know, do I want to play the 3rd receiver in New England?
Why not?
Yeah, that's exactly my point, because that 3rd receiver in New England catches 6 balls for 2 touchdowns when your number 1 guy in Indianapolis, Reggie Wayne, with the change of quarterback, may not catch any touchdown, but may have 9 catches each week, but none of them in the end zone. And that's why, and the Patriots love to throw the ball on play action inside the 5-yard line.
Absolutely.
So you're always going to choose the tight ends for that team and any number of 6 or 7 weapons when you're picking your fantasy team every week.